Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Adrienne Esposito, Executive Director of Citizens Campaign for the Environment. We're here today to give you a good news and a little bad news about 1,4-dioxane in common household products. As you may know, several years ago, CCE championed a historic and landmark bill, and it was the bill that was the first in the nation, which mandated the reduction of 1,4-dioxane in household products. The last several years, the DEC has been implementing that bill, and you might want to know, how are we doing? But before we do that, let's just go give a little bit of the background. Maureen?
Thanks. It's not a secret that Long Island has a 1,4-dioxane problem. 1,4-dioxane is a toxic chemical that's classified as a likely human carcinogen. Exposure to the chemical can impact tumors of the liver, kidney, and gallbladder. It was historically used as an industrial solvent, but more recently was found in an array of household common bath products and beauty products. For instance, bath gels, dish soaps, laundry detergents, baby products, bubble bath. In fact, it's known as a hidden carcinogen, since it's not listed as an ingredient on the back of any of these products. It's actually created as a byproduct to a manufacturing process. Drinking water contaminated with 1,4-dioxane can occur from two different sources. The first is past industrial practices, and the second is these everyday products that are designed to be flushed and poured down drains. The highest levels of 1,4-dioxane in drinking water throughout the nation were found here on Long Island. That led CCE to urgently advocate for New York State to create the first drinking water standard of 1 part per billion. The standard is in place today, with many of the water districts having already installed treatment and filtering out the chemical. In 2019, CCE released a report where we independently tested over 80 different products. This included a wide range of products, such as body soaps, bubble baths, shampoos, men's body soaps, laundry detergents, baby products. In this, we found that over 80% of the products contained 1,4-dioxane. The report shed new light on the hidden carcinogen and prompted action by CCE.
So what do we do about it?
Please identify yourself, please.
Oh,
Maureen Murphy, with Executive Programs Manager, Citizens Campaign for the Environment.
Thank you. Please identify yourself when you start talking. Once the mic sit over there. Once Adrienne does her job.
Okay. Jordan Christensen, Program Coordinator. So in addition to just filtering out the existing 1,4-dioxane from our drinking water, we also need to prevent further contamination from getting in there and from affecting public health. So in 2019, CCE successfully advocated for a bill that significantly limits the amount of 1,4-dioxane in products. So cosmetics, cleaning products, and personal care products. That law is being implemented right now, and it went into effect in 2023 on January 1st, where products then had to limit their 1,4-dioxane levels to 2,000 parts per billion or below. As part of the law, products were allowed to apply for waivers with the New York State DEC if they were unable to meet the standard for that year. As part of that waiver process, if they applied for them and received them, they had to tell us how much 1,4-dioxane was in those products. So last year, we were very surprised when 1,500 different products applied for and received waivers. We were even more surprised at how high the numbers were of 1,4-dioxane in those products. Far higher than we had anticipated, far higher than we had found in our initial testing back in 2019. So those waivers expired at the end of last year, and as of January 1st of this year, the law is in full effect. So products have to limit their 1,4-dioxane to 1,000 parts per billion or lower. And as part of this, they were allowed to apply for waivers again. And we were very happy to see this year that only 26 products applied for and received waivers as of this press conference, and that the levels were far lower than last year. So all of those products had between 1,000 and 2,000 parts per billion, an order of magnitude lower than some of the ones that we were seeing and were being exposed to last year.
Adrienne Esposito, Executive Director of Citizens Campaign for the Environment. So, the good news is that people in New York are being exposed to far less toxic chemicals, 1,4-dioxane, than they were just 4 short years ago. That's great news. The law is working. 1,4-dioxane levels in common household products are way down. And that is very good news for the public and for our drinking water. However, during the course of implementing this law, the numbers of 1,4-dioxane that were revealed to be in common household products was staggering, alarming, and shocking to us. What did we find? Well, there were some products, and this is DEC data. This is the data that the industry submitted to the DEC. And it was products such as Nature's Promise fabric softener, free and clear, 177,000 parts per billion of 1,4-dioxane. Nature broke her promise, and it's not free and clear of 1,4-dioxane. Also, another laundry soap that was tested, 177,000. Again, a Nature's Promise product. There were others, and Suino liquid detergent, 129,000 parts per billion. So please keep in mind, as one bottle of laundry soap has 129,000 parts per billion, as that's going down the drain, goes into a septic system, goes into our groundwater, and our water suppliers need to filter it down to what? We are really loading the groundwater with 1,4-dioxane, setting ourselves up for health impacts and also excessive costs by needing to filter out those toxic chemicals from groundwater and drinking water supplies. We also found such things as we can see here. And this is, we thought was rather surprising. Again, this is DEC data. This is numbers that were on the DEC website. So they were supplied by the DEC from the manufacturers of the products. These are not our numbers. I just want that to be very clear. You can see that this were the waivers that were received in 2023 last year. L'Oreal Kids Shampoo, 6,500 parts per billion. Last year, the law required 2,000 or less. That's why they received a waiver. Head and Shoulders, very common product, 6,100 parts per billion. Pantene, 3,700. Men's products, Old Spice. I guess part of the spice is that they're using 1,4-dioxane, at 4,400. And then we found this particularly concerning, Eucerin's Skin Calming Body Wash, 30,000 parts per billion. We don't think that's very common when you're taking a bath in 1,4-dioxane-laden chemicals. Oil Olay Moisture Body Wash, 4,600. The brand that I use, Philosophy, sadly, almost made the cut at 2,000, but 2,500 parts per billion. So you can see a wide variety of 1,4-dioxane in products as of last year, and some of the numbers were just so revealing and very alarming, which made us even more grateful that this law has passed to protect the public. One of the things we noticed right away is that none of the laundry soaps had requested nor were granted a waiver. And we became, frankly, suspicious because the website doesn't require that products that don't have a waiver to reveal the 1,4-dioxane content. So we independently tested these 5 laundry soaps at a certified lab, Pace Laboratories, here on Long Island in Melville, and we sent the samples to them, and they found good news for the public. So we released it in this report right here, you can see, and what we found is that each one of these laundry soaps have less than 1,000 parts per billion. So here's the before, I'm sorry, Julie. We had levels in 2019 for these laundry soaps, and you can see these very high levels. Dreft, the laundry soap that is particularly marketed for stage 1 infants, which means newborns, had 10,000 parts per billion. Now, as a result of the law, 127. We are very thrilled and very happy with those results. Tide, the most common laundry soap in America, had 14,000 parts per billion of 1,4-dioxane. Now, down, as these test results just came in January, 205 parts per billion. Again, we're delighted with those kind of test results. And also Gain, 10,000 parts per billion in 2019, down to 188. The irony is that these are the same industries that viciously and strongly lobbied against this bill. These industries claimed over and over again they could not conform with the law. They would not be able to comply, that they would have to take Tide off of the shelf, reducing consumers' choices. Guess what? As we predicted, they figured it out. No product has been taken off the shelf. Consumers still have choices. They just have better choices, safer choices. Choices that don't have 1,4-dioxane in them in the quantities that they used to. That is good news for New Yorkers. One thing we don't know is if these products are now being used throughout America, or the 1,4-dioxane is only being filtered in the New York market. You'd have to ask the industry that. But if it's only being used in New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, they should be passing the same law because we know it's doable and it's being done. The irony of this also is that eventually this will reduce 1,4-dioxane in our drinking water supply. We know that the advanced oxidation technology that's necessary to filter out 1,4-dioxane is very expensive. So the less we put in the water, the less cost the public will incur and the less threat to public health will exist. So we are so delighted to be able to tell you it's working, 1,4-dioxane is being reduced. The revelations that came out of this legislation about how much 1,4-dioxane was actually in products was alarming and shocking. And we are very happy that the DEC has been implementing this law, and there's been a vast amount of transparency as well. Any questions about that?
So